Okay, number one, the availability misweighting bias. This is the first formula. This is the first thing that we're going to talk about here, okay? To remember the availability misweighting bias, the most important thing you need to remember is that we overweigh that which is more easily available to us. Okay, we overweigh that which is more easily available to us. So when you hear about a train accident in Austria, right? You live in America, but there's a train accident in Austria. You, for a little while, don't want to ride a fucking train. You don't. Okay, that is the untrained response. That is you falling prey to the availability misweighting bias. You hear about this story and then you overweigh it. Okay, we overweigh that which is more easily available to us. You overweigh it. You give it more weight than it deserves. Okay, and it influences your opinion completely. Okay, influences your response completely. Does this make sense to everybody right now? Okay, do you get this? All right, so do you also get how maybe if, I don't know, when you're first starting to learn game, you go out and you're talking with a girl for 20 minutes and it's going well, and you go to kiss her and you get a bad fucking response, and she doesn't like it, and the next day you go out again and you're about to talk to a girl and then you remember yesterday and you overweigh it and then you don't want to ride the train again? Do you see how knowing about this can really protect you from being irrational? Okay? I want you guys, like, as we go forward and I'm talking about all this shit, I want you to be thinking about all the fucking places in your life you're being a fucking retard. Okay? Because I think about it myself too. I'm trying to think like, Jason, where are you being a fucking retard? Because I know that there's places I'm doing it, right? Where I'm falling prey to the availability misweighting bias. I want to control my brain. I don't want it to control me. Okay? Okay, who here has ever had this happen? Where it's Friday night, you're trying to figure out where to go that night. Maybe your friends have some idea about some place, some venue, and they're giving you the social proof pitch. And they're telling you everyone is going there, right? They are reporting to you, hey man, the herd, everyone's going to this place, okay? And you don't want to go there. You've been there before. You know it sucks. You know it's not the right place. You know there won't be girls. You know it won't be fun, okay? But you're overweighing this social proof pitch because you can't get it out of your brain, this image of everyone running towards that venue. And you end up going there. And you're there and you're sitting there and you're like, why the fuck did I come here? Who has ever had anything like that happen before? Okay? So now you know, one, you're not going to be affected by that anymore because you can go, okay, so yeah, they gave me the social proof pitch. By the way, you name the shit, right? You name the shit, then you have more control over it, right? You give it a label. So when I hear that, when someone gives me that pitch, I'm like, oh, cool, the social proof pitch, right? So I name it one, so now it has less impact on me. And then in addition, I go, oh, also, like, it's really easy for the heavy influence triggers like social proof, which is possibly the most powerful influence trigger, to really take control of our brain. Okay, so if I get that pitch, the social proof pitch, everyone's going there, I'm immediately aware. I'm like, oh, that's the social proof pitch, okay? I'm aware that it's really powerful. I'm aware that it can weigh really heavily if I don't consider the availability misweighting bias. And go for a second. You know what, Jason, my initial response totally is to think, okay, I got to go there if everyone's going there, right? But then I go, you know what? I just heard that though, right? I just heard that, so it's really available to me. So I'm overweighing it. So what do I need to do to be more rational here? I have to underweigh it. Right, I got to divide it by 10, and that's really what it's worth in my thought process, in my cost versus benefit analysis here. Okay, now of course, going out on a Friday night, you're not going to sit there with a pen and paper and a calculator and weigh this shit out, right? No, this happens instantly. Okay, it happens instantly now. It's a train response. Okay, but also a heavy power influence trigger like reciprocity, okay, can also block you from recognizing or remembering your intention or truth. So for instance, let's say that you have a desire on a Friday night, you want to go to a baseball game. That's your plan. You're going to go with a buddy, you're going to get drunk, you're going to have a good time. And the day before, someone did you a big favor. Another friend of yours did you a big favor, and then he hits you up on Friday, and he needs you to do something for him the same time you wanted to go to the baseball game, okay? If that favor happened the day before, do you think you're weighing it pretty heavily?
Yes.
Do you think you feel this internal pressure like you have to say yes? Okay. Do you, in actuality, have to say yes? No. Has society or civilization taught you that you should say yes or you're a bad person?
Yes.
Oh, you're a bad person. You got to return the favor immediately when they ask for it. No, dude. Okay? Because what happens is it's giving you so much internal pressure simply because you're overweighing it. The favor happened 3 weeks ago. It would not weigh as much. You'd be like, you know what? I already had a prior commitment. I'd love to help you. Let me know the next time I can. I'll return the favor. Okay? Who here knows the story of Mark Cuban and the company that he sold back in the day? And I think it was 1999 or 2000, or even 98. It's called Broadcast.com. Okay, Broadcast.com. So Mark Cuban, his first company, he sold it in like 1992 or 93 or something. It's really interesting. Sold it for like $6 million. That was like his cut, right? So he's like a 28-year-old. He just got a $6 million check. He probably had to give a couple million to the government. He's got 3 or 4 left. And he literally to himself, he was like, I'm just gonna retire now, right? That was his goal. He was like, I bought a house. American Airlines actually had this weird deal where back then you could give them $125,000 and they would give you I don't remember what they called it, but it was fly anytime you want on any flight you want first class for free, anywhere around the world. You just get 125 grand once. That was it. It was like a lifetime pass. Okay, so he bought one of those for himself. He bought one for his dad and for his mom. It's really funny. He's on Howard Stern. He was talking about it. He was like, I got one for my dad. He's like 70 years old, but he started using it like every weekend to go to Vegas. So we had to like pull him back on that one. But he literally just traveled the world. He was like, I just wanted to travel the world and get drunk with new people. That was all he wanted to do. I was like, that's a good goal. That sounds fun. So anyways, does that for a few years, gets bored, builds up another company. It's called Broadcast.com. And then he decides he wants to sell it publicly. Okay, he wants to sell it publicly. If he just puts it out there, he's just like, hey, we're for sale. You know, Yahoo, Google, whoever wants to buy it, like, we're for sale. They're not going to weigh it very heavily just because they heard about it once. Okay? He understood the availability. I don't know if he called it this, if he knew about it, but he knew he had to have a lot of PR behind his company before he sold it, right? So if he wants Yahoo to buy it, he needs all these different third party, the news people, the TV people, radio, friends of the owner. He needs everyone talking about his company to the decision maker there. Because every time they hear about it, availability misweighting bias. Right? Every time they hear about it, his company becomes just a little bit more important. It weighs a little bit heavier. It's worth a little bit more. So he did this for months and months and months. And then he cashed out and he sold his company for, I think, don't quote me on this, it was $3 or $6 billion. Okay? This was a company that was doing revenues, I think it was less than 100 million. Okay, that's a pretty big ass valuation. It's a pretty lopsided valuation. In fact, that company made Yahoo, I think, $0. So they spent several billion on a company that they like didn't know what to do with it. They fell prey to the availability misweighting bias, right? They just built it up to be such a big deal in their mind that they overpaid alarmingly high numbers for it, and they just didn't know what to do with it, right? It's like that guy who learned some pickup tricks, and he goes and he takes this girl home, hot ass chick. She used to like banging dudes with lots of experience, and he gets her back. He has no experience, but he learned this one little routine, right? And he got her home. She's lying there naked on his bed. She's tight as fuck, and he's like, I don't know what to do here, man. That was like Yahoo. They're like got this amazing company. They're like, we don't know what the fuck to do here, right? They just didn't know what to do, and it's like, sorry, girl. I guess you got to go to Jason Capital. I can't help you here. But that's literally what happened. It was $3 billion. Okay, it was $3 billion. So there's two ways, like we talked about, availability misweighting bias. You got to be smart about it for yourself. Recognize where you're falling prey to it so you can get back to a more centered, grounded, rational place. And also remember how you're going to influence other people with it, okay? Lots of ways you can influence other people with it. Just off the top of my head, one way that we would do, if we're selling tickets to Orange County for the Elite Mentor Retreat, okay, it would probably behoove me to share all kinds of success stories and testimonials and footage from the last retreat with guys in the days leading up to the sale for tickets. Does that make sense, everyone? Right? If Jay-Z is coming to your city, it would probably make sense for the radio station who bought 3,000 tickets and has to sell them to play his music 10 times more in the 2 weeks before he gets there, because you got to be fresh, right? He has to be fresh in the consumer's brain, okay? So this is like, before you're gonna pitch someone on something, figure out ways where you can use this bias. You can, whatever you want them thinking about, you can plant those seeds 2-3 weeks in advance before the actual pitch, before the actual close, okay? Because if it's fresh there, if it's weighing more, they're gonna overweigh it, okay? Because you guys are here, you know about this, okay? You're in like there's like the top 5%, and then there's the top 1%, and there's like the top 1% of the top 1% who would not, like, those are the only people who know this shit. That's you guys, all right? You guys actually, like, to know this stuff is such an advantage, man. It's such a fucking advantage. You're bringing a gun to a knife fight, all right? Gun to a knife fight. So that's number one, okay?